Just wanted to do some quick draft grades on everyone's drafts here, so I'm just gonna do a quick run through on everyone's teams. We'll start off with Kurt here. Uh, not a phenomenal draft from Kurt. Looks like he definitely is going to take a backseat to the playoffs. Just looking at some of his guys here, an aging Phillip Rivers, Leonard Fournette, who can't stay on the field, unproven rookie, and Josh Jacobs might be his actual best player. Aging Alshon Jeffrey, lots of targets have popped up in Philly, so his target share is probably going to drop. DK Metcalf is his wide receiver 2, a rookie who has a lot of good attributes, but again, nothing proven there. Marlon Mack could be a good flex play for him, just based upon the fact that with Andrew Luck being gone, they're probably going to run the ball a lot more under Brissett. But yeah, I mean, the bench isn't even worthy about talking about, so we'll just move on here. Let's see. Move on to Gabe. Gabe, pretty solid draft here. Oh, well, I forgot about the draft grade. We're gonna give Kurt a C minus. All right, C minus. And then moving on to Gabe here. He drafted 2 quarterbacks in Jameis Winston and who else did he get here? Cam Newton. Not a fan of drafting 2 quarterbacks. I feel like it's a wasted roster spot unless your first quarterback was taken in the 12th round, 13th round, or something like that. Solid running back in Dalvin Cook. He could be the leading rusher in the NFL this year. That's a possibility. Or lead, at least in scrimmage yards. I could see that happening. Tevin Coleman is just the incumbent starting running back in San Francisco. But, I mean, he's not an every down back, so we'll see if he's up to the test. DeAndre Hopkins, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Mike Evans, I could see someone him like having a career year, especially with Bruce Arians' offense. Hunter Henry, one of those tight ends that we thought was going to break out last year, but had that bad injury, but he's recovered fully from that. Duke Johnson Jr., running back who, again, reminds me of Tevin Coleman. Not an every down back, but it looks like right now he's going to have to be that guy. So we'll see if he can hold up. Some solid wide receivers: Tyler Lockett, Allen Robinson. I would say this is a very solid draft for Gabe. I would give him a B plus for sure. All right, we'll move on here. Chris. Chris has the reigning MVP and Patrick Mahomes on his team. Alvin Kamara, top running back, possibly could also lead the league in rushing touchdowns this year. Philip Lindsay, solid running back, but could be a timeshare with Royce Freeman. Antonio Brown, great pick, but at the same time, not Ben Roethlisberger, not Pittsburgh. This is a whole new deal. He's not going to put up the numbers that he has in the past few years. But I'm sure there'll be wide receiver 1 numbers regardless. T.Y. Hilton, one of those guys I stayed away from, but with Andrew Luck being gone, but he's still T.Y., so we'll see how that turns out. He did draft Benjamin Watson, a tight end that's suspended for the first 4 games of the season, so that's his tight end. Kind of a big mistake on that end. Tyler Boyd, he's got as his wide receivers 2, Will Fuller, and also Sterling Shepard. That's a solid trio that you can flex in and out. But he also took 2 quarterbacks. Again, wasted roster spot in my eyes. But if that's your cup of tea, then have at it. I would give this draft a solid B. Move on here. Mr. 13-1, Tony Rico. Let's see. He took Tom Brady. I feel like he's on a decline. Not a great fantasy quarterback to have these days, but we'll see. James Conner, starting running back. His RB2 is James White, though. He is not the starting running back in New England anymore, but he can put up solid fantasy football numbers still, I believe. Adam Thielen is a stud. Sammy Watkins, I think that's a stretch. Great offense, but we all know that Sammy has problems staying healthy. If Sammy can play 16 games this year, that could be a great addition, though. Travis Kelce, arguably best tight end in football. Kenyon Drake on a Miami team that's clearly rebuilding. They haven't ever given him the ball with utmost confidence. So I think Kalen Ballage is one of those guys that will steal some carries from him. Backup wide receivers like Marvin Jones Jr., Deshaun Jackson, Demaryius Thomas I guess he's coming back from injury also. Those are good flex plays for him. He did take Jerick McKinnon, huge mistake, season-ending IR. I guess I'd have to give this draft a B minus. All right. All right, we'll move on here. All right, we got Fred here. Fred's got a couple of Rams on his team starting off. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley. We'll see if Gurley's going to be able to finish out the season. I heard he's going to be limited on his carries. Maybe towards the end of the season, they're going to try to, bench him to keep him fresh with that knee tendonitis that he has. Joe Mixon, great running back, but on a terrible team, so we'll see how he does this year. Juju Smith-Schuster could be a top 5 wide receiver this year. It's very possible. He's going to get all the touches that Antonio Brown got, so we'll see if he can be the man there. Kenny Golladay, solid wide receiver there. Zach Ertz could possibly be the best tight end in football this year for sure. Just checking out his bench a little bit. Went with AP, Kyler Murray. Again, 2 quarterback. It is what it is. I like Christian Kirk as one of those guys that could definitely be a terrific flex play. This is a pretty solid draft right here. I would also give this a B+. Move on to myself. I got Deshaun Watson. I think he could push for MVP this year. Saquon Barkley, Kerryon Johnson. He showed flashes of greatness last year, so hopefully if the Lions can get him the ball as the 3-down back and hit him out of the backfield, then I could see him being, top 10 play. Julio Jones, nothing really have to say about him. Robert Woods, on a Rams offense, you could take any of those wide receivers. O.J. Howard, I think, is a breakout year for him, as long as he can stay healthy. Put up great numbers when he was on the field. It's a pass-happy offense. LaShawn McCoy might be a steal for me. We'll see. Now that he's on the Chiefs. And I went and I picked up a bunch of running backs towards the end of the draft just to, pepper in some insurance for down the road. All right, maybe handcuffs of other teams. So I would give myself, not trying to be too biased, but I give myself a B+ on this one also. Let's see, move on here. One second. It's hard to see out here. I should have sat in the house. All right, moving on to Boog. We got Drew Brees, Christian McCaffrey, Sony Michel, Odell Beckham, Brandon Cooks. These are all great picks for him. Kyle Rudolph, I just don't think he's the guy we all wanted him to be over the past few years out there. Mike Williams is a solid flex play. Boog again, he went with multiple quarterbacks. He's got Baker Mayfield also. But he's got some solid backups in Ballage, Darrell Henderson, who could eventually take over the Rams starting position if anything happens to Gurley. MVS is the guy that I wanted. Also took 2 tight ends. But being as though they're the low end ones, it's good to have that flex opportunity there. Actually, no, you took 3 quarterbacks. So you took Mitchell Trubisky also. So the 3 quarterback deal. That brings the draft grade down. I had you at a straight A, but with the 3 quarterbacks, I'm gonna have to drop you down to an A-, buddy. All right, let's see here. Move on to Bear. We got Bears got Lamar Jackson, great fantasy quarterback because he'll rack up a ton of yards on the ground. Derrick Henry, that's kind of a wild card, man. it's a game script for Derrick Henry. You know, like he could be scripted right out and do nothing for you for several weeks, as proven last year. He took Melvin Gordon, who, as of today, it looks like he is fully willing, and the Chargers are fully willing to allow him to sit out for the entire season. So we'll see how that plays out throughout the year. Tyreek Hill could be the best wide receiver in football once again. Robbie Anderson's a home run threat. I do like Vance McDonald at tight end there. Mark Ingram is a guy a lot of people overlooked at running back, but he is a starting running back in Baltimore. People just don't think he can do it for all 3 downs, but we'll see about that. Jarvis Landry, D.D. Westbrook, a couple of great flex plays there at the wide receiver position. So I mean, he also took Nick Foles as a backup quarterback. Taking quarterbacks late, taking 2, I guess that's okay. So I'm going to give this one a B-. Move on to Buster. Russell Wilson at quarterback. I just don't think he's going to be able to repeat what he did last year when it came from an efficiency standpoint. They run the ball a ton there, so the opportunities for him are going to diminish. Love the Nick Chubb pick. Also Devonta Freeman. So 2 great starting running backs. Amari Cooper just returned from injury. Hit the practice field today, so we'll see if he's going to be rocking for the season opener. Josh Gordon, another guy, question mark there. Can he play for a full season? Can he stay off the weed? We'll see. I love David Njoku at tight end. It's a great pick. Also love David Montgomery. Solid backup wide receivers and Emmanuel Sanders, Calvin Ridley, Marquise Goodwin could be the man again down there. We'll see out in San Francisco. 3 tight ends though, and Jimmy Graham and Noah Fant. Not really understanding that one too much. And Buster did not take a kicker, so there's no kicker on his roster. I would probably give this draft I'll give it a straight C. All right, moving on to Bernard. Bernard's starting quarterback is Jimmy G. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I don't think that's a solid pick there. Did take Ezekiel Elliott. Things were looking up on draft day that they were going to get something done. Now it looks like things are at a standstill once again, so might not have him for week 1 or even longer this year. Backup running back is Austin Eckler. The guy, in there who probably is not your 3-down back. He doesn't have that durability. So we'll see what kind of numbers he can put up on a regular basis. Michael Thomas, arguably one of the best wide receivers, definitely the highest paid. Stephon Diggs, bit of a reach, I think. I learned from last year that he's a home run or nothing kind of guy. T.J. Hawkinson at tight end, rookie. That was a little risque. A.J. Green, who might be back week 5. We'll see about that. He's out with an injury. He picked Kareem Hunt, a suspended player. Won't be ready to play till week 10. Did not take a kicker. Did not take a defense. Probably the worst draft on the board here. Might be the last time he ever takes that 12 spot. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna have to give this draft right here, man. Mainly based upon the fact that he didn't take kicker or defense. Got to give you a D-, bro. It's pretty bad. And let's see here. We're going to move on to Don. Carson Wentz at quarterback. I think he can get back to his MVP form this year. Very solid dude. David Johnson could be a great running back. We all want him to be, but the offense hasn't, and the injuries haven't done that for him in the last 2 seasons. Aaron Jones, if they free him, it might be great. We'll see. We just don't know. Another Packer and Devontae Adams. I think he could be the best wide receiver in football, as he proved last year. Julian Edelman, another solid pick. George Kittle, great tight end. That was my guy last year. Miles Sanders as running back. He should be the starter there, but we'll see. I think it might be running back by committee. I do like the DJ Moore pick and Devin Singletary also. 2 quarterbacks, though, in back-to-back, Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan. That's going to take your draft grade for me from an A to an A-. All right. Move on here to Scotty. Most improved draft, I'd have to say. Even though you did take your kicker and defense much earlier than you should. You waited for Aaron Rodgers in the 2nd round. We're proud of you, buddy. Le'Veon Bell. He'll actually play this year, so that's a huge improvement from last year. I love the Chris Carson pick. Keenan Allen, if he could stay healthy with Melvin Gordon being out, he's gonna see the ball quite a bit more. When Melvin Gordon was hurt last year, his numbers were up. Cooper Kupp, love that guy. He showed up to camp without a brace on, so that ACL injury is behind him. I think he's 100% good to go. Evan Ingram, stud tight end. Carlos Hyde, though, in that flex spot, not liking that. That's I just don't think he's got it anymore, man. Backups, and you got 3 tight ends. It brings that draft grade down, man. You don't carry 3 tight ends, you know. And you don't carry 2 kickers, and you don't carry 2 defenses, you know. Improved draft from last year, Scotty, but I'm sorry, man. I got to give you a C+ on this one. But that's it. Commissioner out.